Last week, I was listening to an episode of the Just Getting Good podcast, and they were interviewing Elizabeth White, and she was talking about this concept of faking normal. And the more I listened to her speak about it, and the more I thought about that phrase, faking normal, I realized how much we're used to hiding things. We hide our struggles, we hide our dreams, we hide the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that got me thinking, what happens to our lives and our relationship with the people around us when all we do is hide our actual lives? And today, we're going to talk about it. If we haven't met yet, my name is Isabel, and on this channel, we talk all about embracing your weird in order to build a better brand, business, and life. So let's go. One of the things that struck me about the conversation with Elizabeth was when she talked about how many people get really good at faking the fact that they're okay, at pretending that everything is fine. And I'm sure we all know someone like that. I'm sure we all have been someone like that. We get really good at playing pretend, at thinking that things are okay, at telling nobody about our struggles, telling no one that we're having a hard time. And there's another part of us that then sometimes wishes that other people would notice, right? And we think that nobody cares or that nobody really wants to know about our struggles. But the fact is that a lot of times nobody knew. Nobody knew that we were struggling. Nobody knew that we were having a hard time because we didn't let them know. We hid it. If I'm struggling and I never tell anyone, how are they supposed to know? If I'm overwhelmed and I never let anyone know, how are they supposed to know? If I'm sad, depressed, anxious, you name it, and I don't tell anyone, how are they supposed to know? People aren't mind readers. They're not. And yet, so many of us have been taught that asking for help is a weakness, that needing help from someone else is weak. And society has made it the right thing to be strong and show a strong face and show no vulnerability and just keep looking like you're okay. We've been taught this. But that at the same time, everyone needs help sometimes. And if you thought about it from a different perspective of what if your friend needed help, wouldn't you want them to communicate that with you? What if a family member needed help? Wouldn't you want them to communicate that to you? Your spouse, your partner, your kid, wouldn't you want them to communicate and say, hey, I'm really struggling and I need help? So why would you think that they would react differently to you needing help? And the saddest part is that people didn't help not because they didn't care, but because they never got a chance to. But also, as the more I got to thinking about this kind of silence, I realized that when we talk about silence and hiding things, we usually talk about it from the context of struggles. But what happens when we're silent on our dreams, right? And I've heard this myth of like, never say your goals out loud because your brain thinks that you're already achieving it. And if we never say our goals out loud to anyone, how do they know that they can help us or not? If they can help us or not. For example, let's say I want to be a fashion designer, right? If I never say to anyone in my life, hey, I want to be a fashion designer, how would they know to send me information about that fashion design course that they just came across? How would they know to connect me to their cousin who is a fashion designer, or to their friend who just launched a new clothing line, or to their other friend who has a boutique and accepts new and up and coming designers? They don't know to connect us to those people or to those resources because they don't know that our dreams exist. And so we feel alone, not only in our struggles, but also in achieving our dreams. We feel like it's really far away when sometimes if we just shared it with the people around us, a lot of them would be willing to connect us to people and resources that could help us along with that dream. And I'm sure that if someone came to you and shared their dream, you'd be willing to connect them to people and resources to help them achieve their dreams. And that could be as simple as sending them an Instagram account of someone talking about how to achieve that thing. It's not about, oh, I know all these people with connections. It's just about how all of us together can help all of us achieve our dreams. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And silence is costing us something else too. It's costing us knowledge. It's costing us in skills. Because I know a lot about a lot of things, and I know my friends know a lot about a lot of other things, right? I probably know more about dog behavior and dog training than my friend who only has cats, right? But she knows more about cat care probably than I do. I know more about baking than her, but she knows a lot more about medicine than I do because she's a doctor, and I know nothing about that, right? And we all have that friend who knows more about learning languages or dancing or gardening or meal prep or productivity or AI or anything. And we keep that knowledge to ourselves for fear of sounding like a know-it-all. And the thing is, that just keeps us all stuck. Because a lot of times the reason we don't take action on things that we want to learn more of, on things that we want to try and get better at, things like finances, for example, is because no one is willing to share that information. But also, no one is willing to ask for that information. And for people to learn something, two things need to happen. One, there has to be a person who has to admit that they know a lot about that thing and, face the fact that they're going to sound like a know-it-all or they're going to sound, pretentious or whatever. And the other person needs to be willing to admit that they don't know something and fear sounding dumb or silly or whatever. But when those two things happen, all of us can learn more because person A will always have things to teach person B, but person B will also always have things to teach person A. Because all of us have and carry these skills and this knowledge and this thing from our real lives and how we grew up and the things that we've learned and the things that we're interested in that not everyone else carries. So silence is costing us our struggle, it's costing us our dreams, it's making it harder, it's making it lonelier, and it's costing us knowledge. It's making it harder and it's making it lonelier to learn things as well. When are we gonna stop letting silence keep us from the lives we want? When are we gonna stop letting silence keep us away from our community and isolate us further? And the last thing, and I don't wanna expand too much on this, I think there are far better people who talk about this, but I do think it needs to be named. Silence protects harmful systems. Silence protects harmful people. It protects toxic workplaces. It protects people who hurt other people. It protects the abusers and not the victims. Because when you leave a job and you don't let anyone know that it was a toxic environment, maybe your friend applies for that same job. When you leave a partner and you don't let anyone know why you left that partner or that friendship or that whatever, then people don't know that they shouldn't be there. And that only protects the people in power who are doing not so good things. And that's one of the worst ways that silence works. It's one of the most heartbreaking ways that silence works against regular good humans. And I'm not saying that you need to share absolutely every single detail of your life. Privacy matters, boundaries matter. But I am saying that it's important to speak up too and find your own balance in that. And I know that the world is not created for victims to speak out. I know that they're shamed and ridiculed and a lot worse. But silence does protect those abusers, and it does protect those broken systems. It does protect those toxic people and environments. I think that we've been taught that silence is mature. We've been taught that, holding your tongue is a good thing, that it's professional, that it shows emotional intelligence. And I don't think we realize that that has been a manipulation tactic by society to protect all the people in power in different ways, to isolate us. And if we want community, we need to speak to our community. If we want to achieve our dreams, we need to find out who has the connections that can help us get there. If we're struggling and we feel like we're treading water and we can't get out and we're going to drown, we need to find the person who has the lifeboat. We need to yell for help. If we know we want to achieve something, but we have no idea how to get there, we have to speak up about it so that the person who knows how to get there can tell us. Silence is costing us so much, and we don't realize it. And it isolates us because it makes us think that we're the only one, we're the only one struggling, that we're the only one with silly dreams, that we're the only one who doesn't know this, that we're the only one who's failing, that we're the only one who has gone through something like this. And when we speak up, we realize we're not the only one. We share struggles with a lot of people on the planet. We share dreams with a lot of people on the planet. We share stories, identities, beliefs with a lot of people on the planet. I don't think silence is protecting anyone. And that's why I want to invite you to speak up. So let me know in the comments, what's one thing that you've been silent on? A struggle, a dream, a knowledge point, something you know that you are willing to speak up about. You don't have to go into many details if it's uncomfortable, but just name one thing. And if you found this video helpful, share this video with a friend so that they know that they can speak up to you, so that they know that they can talk to you, that you know how harmful silence is. I make new videos like this every single Friday. So until then, stay wild, stay weird, and I'll see you in the next one.